Elena. Elena is said to be the race that started the myth of elves. They are sighted in Germanic countries deep in the forests. They are not known to be lethal to humans, but they do, however, like to pull pranks on humans. They like to scare off humans in order to steal their stuff. The last sighting was near München, Germany in December 2001. TISAR-3. Their origin is unknown, however reports state that it takes them near 2 Earth years to get to Earth. They are survivors of an extinct reptoid race and do not possess the same level of technology or knowledge as other races visiting Earth. They do have some human characteristics such as their skin. In 1977 or 1978, near Siena, Italy, 2 of their species were captured after landing behind a church on ruins. 3 days later, they were transferred to a USA airbase that was still in Italy and finally taken to an undisclosed location where, supposedly, they still remain. The last sighting was January 3, 2001, near Victoria, Canada. Tauris. Their origin is unknown. They are often seen near or flying by volcanoes. Identified due to exquisite nature of their ships. They do not contact or abduct humans and are not violent. They do not try to hide from view though, and come to Earth frequently. Last sighted off the coast of Norway in 2000. There are several contradictory reports about their appearances. Matrax. Despite their appearance, these aliens are not considered to be dangerous to humans. They can live up to 400 years and come from constellation Delphinus near Swallosan. They have been visiting Earth for at least 4,000 years, mainly during the 19th century. Last sighting on Earth was November 1996, near Marseille, France. They inspired alien races in the movie Independence Day. Elfaf. They come from constellation Boetes, near star Aeolus Primus. They resemble greys, but are not related. Their species have 4 different genders, and they are known to be benevolent. It is unknown why they visit Earth. They seem very interested in raw materials. The last sighting was near San Isidro de El General, Costa Rica in 2005. Caravelli. Known to be extremely dangerous to humans and other alien races as well. They come from constellation Chameleon. They have been involved in conflict with other races for over 500 years, our calendar. They do not come to Earth often. The last sighting was near New Orleans in 1976. They live up to 150 years and get as tall as 3 meters, or over 9 feet. And they have 4 arms. X1Z, or X. Only sighted 2 times on Earth. They can shapeshift as much as 4 times in 10 seconds. Their origin is unknown, and the information about them was given from another alien race. They often abduct and perform medical experiments on humans. They have been visiting Earth since the mid-1500s. The only 2 sightings were near Elazig, Turkey. Puratav Ilumu. It is unknown where this race originated from. They are mostly seen around the Oregon area and the American Northwest. They are interested in our oceans and are known to have USOs. In the 1980s and 1990s, they had close calls, aka crashes, with U.S. Navy ships. They are peaceful and mostly nocturnal. The last sighting was in 2000 near San Francisco. Zetta Reticuli. The Zetta arrived from constellation Nets. They were and are the representatives of the Anunnaki on Earth. The Anunnaki genetically engineered a subspecies of Zettas in order for them to become the pharaohs of Egypt. The most well-known of them was Akhenaten, who was removed from power by Reptilians. The Zettas have been on Earth for 4,000 years. They were the first hybrids to be engineered. Up to 30% of them have deformities. Sexual characteristics in hybrid Zettas still remain in two forms, the original and the hybrid. Their location on Earth is unknown. Nagumak. They are considered newcomers to Earth. They first visited in 1989. They exercise control over the minds of captive people, aka abducted humans, which they use for unknown purposes after their release. Another inspiration for the alien creatures in the movie Independence Day. They are also the race that most governments fear, and they are one of the most ancient alien races in existence. Alcobata. This alien race is said to have over 5,000 ships and have colonized over 100 planets on their own. Abduction of humans are frequent and ongoing. The purpose of this is unknown. They do not like to interact with other alien races. They are an aggressive race. They come from constellation Perseus, suspected to have been involved in several airplane crashes. Most known case was the Korean Airlines Flight 007 over Russia in 1983. The Russians took and accepted the blame for it. Last seen on Earth September 1st, 2001 in Canada. Reptilians. The most known and feared of the reptoid species. There are 3 species of reptoids. They have been permanently on Earth for over 15,000 years. Arrived from the constellation Draco. They have colonized over 500 planets by means of infiltration within governments and other leadership positions on Earth. They are one of the most advanced species in technology. They prefer to work in the shadows. They have supernatural powers such as shape-shifting, interdimensional travel, and the power to become invisible. They have 3 main UFO/ship bases on Earth. 1 in the Bermuda Triangle area, 2 somewhere off the coast of Denmark, and 3 somewhere off the coast of New Zealand. They will never leave. Mythile. This race is distant cousins of the reptoid species, but they are not reptilians. They come from constellation Serpens and the star Allia. They visited Earth for the first time June 13, 1965. Despite their appearance, they are not considered threatening to humans. Most of the ships seen over the South Pole belong to them. Kalenia. They come from the constellation Aquila and the star Tarazad. Their lifespan is 150 years. They have colonized 3 planets. Their ships frequently are seen in northern Africa and the Sahara region. They have been visiting Earth since the 3rd century BC. They do not abduct, they are only interested in Earth's minerals. Vinitvari. They travel from constellation Pavo. They are a well-respected, peaceful race with mystical powers. They have been visiting us since 1000 AD. They do not abduct humans. They do not interact with humans. They can live up to 2,000 years. Last seen on Earth, July 1995, near Odessa, Ukraine. Eric, a peaceful race that comes from constellation Ophiuchus, near star Yed Prior. Their purpose is unknown. They mostly are passerbys, using Earth only as a stop before going somewhere else. They do not interact with humans, and they are mostly nocturnal. Their ships emit a bright orange light and are octagonal in shape. Their last sighting was near London in May 2003. Tenzani. This race comes from the constellation Perseus, by the Gorgonia Secunda star. According to the Alien Race book, this race has caused many deaths on Earth, and not only Earth. They are an extremely advanced race. One of their interests is the reaction of the other races to tragedies and cataclysms. They are often seen near tragedies such as the Hindenburg disaster and the Titanic sinking. X5 Tycut. This race was created as slaves to and by the race Matrax. They are sent to sensitive regions as messengers and conduct abductions. They can live forever as they are not organic. They have the ability to fly ships and rational thinking. Last seen on Earth, July 1997, near Brisbane, Australia. Puxity. This race, with an unknown origin, according to the Alien Race book, was very influential in the development of several Central and South America civilizations. They had, at one time, over 2,000 members living among the humans in those regions. Once most of them left, leaving only 25 behind, the humans killed them, and they have never returned to Earth again. The reason why the humans killed them is unknown. Strom. They come from constellation Ursa Minor. Strom are invertebrates and colenterates. Average height is 2 meters, which I believe is around 6 feet. Vegetation is of great significance to Strom. They have visited Earth 200 times. The main reason is to study the flora of our planet. This race is acting with extreme caution. They are rarely seen by people. The first visit to Earth was at the end of the last ice age. Strom have 20 colonies located across the galaxy. Their ships have the shape of an octagon. Dorsey. Small creatures no more than 0.5 meters or 1.6 to 1.7 foot tall. They visited planet Earth 250 times. They arrived from the star system Cassiopeia. They have 2 home planets. They eat other species of aliens and also humans. They have been in a state of war with one other alien species for 2 billion years. The last time the race Dorsey visited Earth was in November of 2001 in the Alps. Graysley. They are covered with short, silky hair. They have visited Earth 12 times and have 2 home planets on the Virgo star system. Their first visit was about 3,000 years ago. Djoser Pyramids in Egypt was built in their honor. They have watched our development for the past 200 years. Only 6 of them travel in each spaceship at a time. The last visit to Earth took place in July 2002 and February 2004. Gorok Aka the Builders. They come from constellation Sculptor. They derive from an ancient race of reptilians that have gone extinct. They are specialists at building ships and other devices needed for deep space traveling. They are space travelers themselves, searching for raw materials. They can live up to 230 years. They were last seen near Tokyo, Japan in 2005. Kili Taket. They come from constellation Vela near the star Suhal Malua. They grow up to 6 foot tall and live up to 200 years. They can shapeshift and are very hard to detect. When they shapeshift, the only thing that can't change is the size and the color of their eyes. They are one of the oldest known races. They do abduct humans, and they were last seen on Earth July 2008. Pleiadians. Pleiadians are humanoids, physically indistinguishable from humans. They're usually described as tall, around 6 feet. They are peaceful and concerned with the welfare of Earth. They come from around Pleiades star cluster. They can live up to 700 years, and they are far more emotionally and spiritually developed than Earth humans. Kilomer Aka. They come from constellation Volans. The sightings of this race on Earth are rare. They are a mystery. It is said that they were forbidden to visit Earth around the year 1000 BC, but they did not stop coming to Earth because of their allies Matrax. Last seen on Earth December 1989. Kurs, believed to be directly related to the race Anunnaki. They come from the planet Dilemans. They are behind the story of Enlil and Ninlil. They are aka gods of lands. They were directly involved in the development of the human race. They do not plan on leaving anymore. They spend time immersed in a gold, precious liquid, presumably that extends their lifespan. Race 2017. This race has only contacted humans one time in 1935. They came from galaxy UDFJ 3954624, estimated distance of about 13.2 billion light years. They travel via wormhole that allows them to bend space. The only report of their presence was in the former USSR in 1935. According to the ARB, they spoke a kind of Slavic dialect. They were tall, blonde, had long hair, and smelled like flowers. El Manuk. They come from constellation Grus near star Alnair. They are considered to be one of the most peaceful races. They created the alliance of the 5 races but are not part of it. Those are 5 races that protect our planet from darker races. According to the ARB, they coined the sentence 5 universes, 2,500 species, and 1 race. Last seen on Earth on September 2002. AFIM. They come from the constellation Lyra. They are small in stature and have blue spotty skin. Their planet is called Caravelli A Petri. They came from their planet to Earth in 20 Earth minutes. They don't need oxygen. Largest percentage of their planet's atmosphere is hydrogen. Colonize 10 planets in non-violent ways. When they are close to humans, they can't be seen if they choose. Their spaceships are small and sphere-like. They visit us to study human deviation. This activity is important to them in determining the future development of the human race. Solipsi Rai. Harmonious race in all aspects. They have one main leader and his name is Y. Martin. Their civilization is 2 billion years old. They were once in the same level of development as ourselves. They are focused only on the development of other planets. They come from constellation Cygnus. They do have one powerful weapon that keeps all other hostile and violent races in order. Race Matri lost 5 spaceships because of it. They say that we, humans, still have 645 options for the future of our planet. We call these aliens Greys. Anunnaki arrived from planet Nibiru. Their planet enters our solar system every 4,000 years. They resemble the likes of men, but they are bigger in stature. When they arrived on Earth, there were already other powerful beings on Earth with supernatural powers. The Anunnaki defeated them and became the new rulers. They genetically engineered the human species in order to have a race of slaves at their disposal. Samael and Lilith were the Anunnaki's king and queen. They were not aware of the reptilians on Earth. Eventually, Anunnaki left Earth, but the reasons were unknown. However, before they left, they created a subspecies of the Zetta. This subspecies eventually became the rulers of Egypt, aka the pharaohs. The Anunnakis were beings that gave birth to such legends as giants. They will return one day, however. That date is still a mystery. Alguralics. They come from constellation Cetus. They are often confused with reptilians, but don't share anything with them except appearance. Their height is around 2 meters, and they can live up to 350 years. This is one of the 21 mentioned races that have more than 2 genders. This race has 8 different genders, and all of them can reproduce when in sexual contact with each other, no matter which. The purpose for their visits to Earth are unknown. They were last spotted near Lima, Peru in December 2004. Mazarik. They come from constellation Camelopardalis from the 1300s to early 1900s human calendar. They were not allowed to leave their planet by other alien races. They are very violent and predatory aliens. They have been involved with the race Matrax as allies. They grow to 1.6 meters. They were last seen on Earth on August 2001. Ramay, a very peaceful race. They tried to coexist with us. According to the book, they are the ones that created the Mayan civilization by taking humans from different places on Earth and placing them in South America. They have very scientific temperaments. They taught the Mayans about astronomy and time. They left the Mayans and the planet when this culture was at its highest in splendor. After they left, the Mayans started to sacrifice and give blood offerings in their name. They come from Capella, constellation Auriga. They visited last in 2001 in Bora Bora. Gigantic. According to the ARB, this race has contacts with 3 world governments, but not USA, Russian, or any other main ones. They have been visiting us for 3,000 years and are violent in nature. They come from constellation Horologium and are allies with the race Matre. Jeffic. They travel from constellation Indus. They are known for their peacemaking abilities as well as their technology. The first sighting on Earth goes back to 1500 BC according to the ARB. They met with JFK and other world leaders. They have not been seen on Earth since JFK's death. In 1965, they gave a message to all governments with nuclear capability. But what the letter or the message said is unknown. The Invisibles. This race has been known to be seen in very high security places. They are almost completely invisible to the naked eye. Both the Russian and the USA military developed technology that allows them to track them down on radar. Their ships, but not the beings. 3 things are known. 1, they leave a sour smell when they are around. 2, when they are by windows, you can see a smudged-like figure, ghostly-like. 3, when dogs start barking with no apparent reasons, they most likely are nearby. Them are the Reptilians. They come from constellation Mensa. Their purpose is unknown. Miguel. Very peaceful. They have 2 permanent bases somewhere in South America. They are 100% nocturnal. They are not to interact with humans and are shy. They harvest rodents and insects by the thousands every month. Reasons are unknown. Last seen near Oaxaca, Mexico in 2003. At least 3 of them have been under Brazilian military custody for over 12 years. They are visited by their own species every 20 years. Eckhart. They come from the constellation Sextans. They crashed one of their ships near the town of Varginha in Brazil in 1996. 2 of the occupants are under USA custody. They paid a huge amount of money for them. They have the fastest ships among all the alien races. They were last seen on Earth February 2002 near Varginha, Brazil again. Matra or Matri. They have 2 home planets in the constellation Megape. Some heights are as tall as humans. They visited Earth for the first time in the prehistoric period. Kidnapping of humans is carried out openly. They wanted to colonize Earth, but it did not happen due to protection from other races. Their lifespan is 120 years. They colonized 26 planets. On Earth, they've kidnapped about 5,000 men, visited Earth about 200 times, and the last visit was September 2006. Dries. Their growth is 2.5 meters. Complex structure of the skull, and they visited Earth 20 times. The purpose was to kidnap people for reproduction, turning them into slaves. They have stolen 520 people. They arrive from a 3rd star in constellation Cetus. They have 2 home planets. They colonized 40 planets with the help of slaves. 10 planets were taken by force. They work with 3 more races. They eat protein foods, mostly animals. They're not ready mentally to interact with other races. Their 2 home planets' chemical composition is similar to Earth. They are supposed to reveal themselves to mankind in 2022. Lang. Small creatures growing to 70 centimeters. They come from the 6th star in the constellation Coma Berenices. They were one of the earliest aliens to visit Earth. It was them who started the stories about elves. They have abducted over 10 million humans throughout history. The last time they visited our planet was in January 2006 in New Zealand. SMAD. They come from constellation Baturae, planet SBOK. Their spaceships have a conical shape. Their appearance resembles that of humans. They only have 6 spaceships left, colonized by other races. They first visited Earth 2,500 years ago. They are extremely interested and intrigued by our religious beliefs, the race that is considered to be weakening. Tengray. They live on the planet Tengray, the galactic sector 56, star system F1342. They live underground. Planet Tengray is home to 10 million of their species. They visited Earth for the first time about 10,000 years ago. They do not need an atmosphere or water to survive. They have 1 spaceship that can accommodate 5 million of them. Throughout time, they have had several contacts with governments of Earth. Have Hanaway Chondras from the Sextensdorf SPH galaxy. First visited Earth in 934 AD in modern-day Romania. They often abduct and kill humans, and drain and drink the blood of humans and animals. Well, other animals. They are the source of the vampire myth. Several governments know and accept their actions. The bodies they abduct and use are never returned. They were last seen in Scotland in 1996. The Messengers. Not much is known about this race of alien. They visit Earth around every 300 years. They do not reveal themselves and do not make direct contact with humans. They leave carvings and drawings and writings on rocks as well as symbols and historical monuments. Their ships are shaped like a teardrop and silver in color. Muvianthan Kafik, the Shining Ones. They come from constellation Vulpecula. They have met at least 2 USA presidents as well as with USSR and now Russian leaders, and some high-ranking officials. They supply technology to humans in exchange for the freedom to conduct abductions. They do not involve other alien races in this process. They had a big role in the Siberian and Tibetan culture. They still have bases in those areas, hidden in the north face of mountains. They have colonized over 40 planets outside our solar system so far. Rock. This race only visited Earth 5 times. They visited the area we know as the Middle East, and that created the belief in the jinn, or genies, in Islamic mythology. According to some Muslim scholars, they inhabit an unseen world in a dimension beyond the existing dimensions of our universe. According to reports from other alien races, they stopped visiting Earth because their immune system could not cope with Earth's fauna and flora. Last recorded visit 712 AD. Al-Mahulakstrat 163. They were forced to leave Earth after losing a battle against reptoids in ancient India. Date unknown. They had been visiting for around 200 years. They have resumed their visits to Earth in 1948. Technologically, this is a very advanced race. Their ships are often invisible to radar and the human eye. They wear some sort of clothing that can make them invisible as well. Supposedly, they come from Jupiter or from one of its moons. The last sighting was in Portugal in May 2005. Ainana. The members of this race are why humans coined the term Martians. They came from constellation Gemini. They have had permanent bases on Mars for thousands of years, where they mine some sort of a gold-type material. First recorded visit to Earth was 1235 BC in Japan. Last sighting in Madagascar, 2003. Indigo JTK, aka Tall Whites. This race has several bases on and in the moon, where they mine unknown material. They use slaves to do most of their work. The slaves are extremely well cared for. The Indigo see them as indispensable. Their operation on and in the moon are very secretive. They are in almost permanent contact with the high-ranking officials from the USA, China, and Russia governments. They have the ability to shape-shift into an almost perfect one-lumen form. They are also known as Men in Black because they use special dark suits to protect their skin when in human shape while conducting special operations on Earth. Kilamet R. They come from constellation Crux, near Gur Crux. It is a very hard race to track down or spot. Both the USA and Russian military have developed special camera and radar systems that allow them to be spotted while on Earth. But even then, they have only been sighted 8 times. The purpose of their presence is unknown. When they are sighted, it is usually in the area known as the Bermuda Triangle.